Hi guys, it's Dr. Roz.
And it's your man Kil.
Welcome back to Till Death Family.
Yeah. We got a question, so we're gonna go into that. And keep them questions coming till
We love the questions.
at gmail.com. Kil and Roz, first let me say that I loved your series on I Think I Love My Wife. Kil, you really helped me to begin to put into perspective how much a need sex is for a man husband. My husband's sex drive is much more strong than mine, and it seems that he never gets sex as much as he would like it. After watching you guys and taking to heart some of the things you talked about, I'm now paranoid that my husband might be cheating because my appetite for sex isn't as strong as his, and I may not be pleasing him. I have two questions for you. Number one, where did this incredibly strong sex drive come from in men? And number two, what could I do to try to increase my sexual appetite? Well,
number two, if it's a motto in my house, I just
happened?
never.
What did you say?
Well, number two, a motto in my house for me
Oh,
is
a
that.
model.
Yeah, what you thought I said?
Raj, you make up your own language. I don't know what you say half the time.
I never say no. I just never say no.
Okay, that's a good model to have. I'm gonna deal with number one first.
Okay. Yeah.
Where does this incredibly high sex drive come from in men? Truth be told, I would think it's some type of biology thing, or I don't know, something that's just in men. It's funny because the other day they got this new series on AMC. I just started watching The Walking Dead.
What?
Yeah,
What
I've always
is
been
that?
into zombie movies and stuff.
Huh.
And I slept on it, so I just caught up on all the seasons. But they got this new show called Comic Book Man. I used to be a real big comic book dude back in the day. And the first show, they were going around the table saying, you know, which comic book character did you want to bang when you was a kid growing up? And they were like, oh, Catwoman. They're like, the Catwoman with the whip. Are you talking about this Catwoman? And it was like all these different,
okay.
you know, comic book people that men wanted to bang. You know, and it kind of was like, it made me think, and I'm like, yo, T, did you ever want to bang a comic book person? She's like, what are you talking about? Like, did I ever want to bang? You know,
No.
Did I ever want to bang Batman? What's wrong with you? You know, but this is how men think even as little boys. I can remember I used to want to bang Batgirl
I don't even remember Batgirl.
Yeah, back in the day on the old Batman series, not the cartoon, but the actual series, they would have sometimes Batgirl would come on, Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and I used to be so excited because during the little intros with the boom pow and all that, you know, she would come out and kick somebody, and I'd be like, yes, she's on here today, you know. So yeah, as kids, and then you know you get into arguments like, well, I'd rather bang Catwoman, why I'd rather bang Wonder Woman because she got the rope to tie you up already. So you got to understand that. For men, this starts like when we're little boys.
Well, I'll explain the biological need.
You know, trust me, your husband has thought Marianne or Ginger, you know, like, you know, Betty or Wilma.
God.
Like,
really?
Yeah. Like, I would bang Betty over Wilma. I don't like redheads, you know, so, you know.
But, like, yuck.
It's just what men do.
So let me understand. Let me explain some of the biological process. So, ladies, here's the thing. And most people don't realize this, but males, they start masturbating as early as 2 years old. A lot of people are like, what? What are you talking about? No, you probably were. You just didn't realize it.
Okay.
But a lot of boys, they do. It's normal for boys to masturbate that young. The reason being is that they are always in contact with their penis. It's something that's, you know, they always see it. They needed to use the restroom. And it's an exploration tool. They can see it. As for women, most of us don't really see our vaginas until maybe we get our first pap smear. Even then, we may even think about it, or you know, until we get married. Who knows? It's just not something that we see because it's not projecting from our body. So with young guys, it's something that's always projecting from their body. So it's something that's always visible with them. So they start getting that insatiable feeling of tension release, even at the age of 2. Although they may not realize it, it occurs. And then, especially for men, you know, for young boys, the whole wet dream thing, and how men are always erect when they wake up. It's just a natural part of their process. So they are always in a sexual position as opposed to women. We got to do some things to get us there. they're always in that position. They're always in that posture just because biologically that's how you guys are made. So that's the biological reason of why sex may be such an occurrence for men, because they really start masturbating at the age of 2. Most women don't start masturbating until
38.
yeah. I mean,
Hey.
it just depends on when she feels the need to feel comfortable with her body, or when she feels, if she ever feels comfortable with her body.
So you got the hood version of wanting to bang Wilma and Betty.
I can't believe you want to bang Wilma and Betty, really?
Nah, I said I didn't like Wilma.
But Betty, really?
Yeah, same thing with Ginger and Marianne. It's like, you go with Marianne, So that is just to give you the mindset of a man that, yes, we're thinking about banging cartoon characters. Okay, so that's how young and how serious sex is. And I've seen some fights over who, should. And like I said, it just brought back memories watching this show. Because you're
fights
talking about
who should bang Betty?
I mean, over who you picked. Remember, guys growing up will fight over anything, so it's really not that deep. Yeah. But just seeing, that this just wasn't happening in the hood, because on this comic book show, you're talking about middle-aged white men talking about the same exact thing. And they're not thinking. They're not like, let me think. It's like, boom, Catwoman. It's like,
wow.
It's Storm from the X-Men. Like, it's not no, let me think. It's like, it's an instant thing. So, we're just thinking about sex all the way up to that time. Now, the number 2 question, I would say, you got to find out, and I think it's what I've always said, what turns people on. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't think a lot of women kind of know instantly what turns them on. You know what I mean? There are some women
we don't know.
There are some women who like watching porn. They love it, and that turns them on. There are some women who want to be talked dirty to, and that turns them on. There are some women who are just as smutty as dudes are. You know what I'm saying? And this is an assumption, but I would probably assume that those women who are just as smutty as men are enjoy sex a lot more, because they know these things turn me on. When you say
smutty, what do you mean by that?
I mean, because that's what you call us. So,
So, like, what's a smutty woman? Like, what does she look like?
I mean, not smutty, but it's kind of just like, it's a stereotype that I used to love this show on FX called Rescue Me. I don't know if it was all about the firemen.
Yeah.
And one of the firefighters, White Mike, there was 2 Mikes, it was Black Mike and White Mike, got with Tommy Gavin's sister. And she was like a porn addict. I mean, like, everywhere. And he didn't like it. He didn't like the fact that she watched porn. And she was like, man up and get over it. So, where usually that's the opposite. Usually it's the man who likes porn and the woman who's like, that's nasty, that's disgusting. But I'm just saying is that the woman who kind of knows herself probably enjoys sex a lot better. Because I really believe
that's
sex
totally
is I say 90% mental, 10% physical.
But you know what? I wonder if she enjoys sex with him. Our listener,
right?
Our person that commented.
I don't know, because throughout these past weeks, I have been schooled on women, so that she may not, and I think that
she may not realize that she's not enjoying sex.
So I think one of those things but I think again that goes back to getting to know yourself. So, I think, again, like I said, it's hard for you to tell me I'm not hitting it right, but you don't even know yourself. You've got to know yourself to be, and like the woman who does is able to say, you need to watch porn, you need to pull my hair, some women like to be spanked, some women, like dirty talk, and all these things turn them on. And I think at the end of the day, it's like that for men. Like if you ask the average man, name 5 things that turn you on. Again, we got the list. You ask a woman that, it'll probably be things like, rubbing my back. I ain't talking about no rubbing your back. Right. I'm talking about down and dirty sex stuff. It's like, y'all probably
but here's
don't
the thing,
know.
Most women don't even know where their G-spot is located. Don't know how to get to it. Don't know where to go searching to look for it. It's probably never been touched.
Right.
Because there is a difference between a G-spot orgasm and a vaginal orgasm. There's a huge difference.
So,
if you get a G-spot orgasm, every time you have sex, you ain't gonna never say no.
Cool. So, I just think you kind of have to figure out what are those things. And I think that's a good thing, because there may be some women who disagree. Women, write down 5 things that turn you on in the bedroom. Not 5 things that will lead you to the bedroom, but 5 things that will turn you on in the bedroom. And if you can't name 5 things and it takes you 5 hours, then 9 times out of 10,
you don't know yourself.
You don't know yourself, and you're not enjoying sex to the limits
and
of which
again, I would challenge that.
Yeah, to figure them out.
If you could name 5 things that you like on your own, not that someone has done to you and you think that, oh, this is what the guy wants to hear, like, oh, choking and spanking, and I don't know anybody that went through choking. I would be terrified. But there is a slew of people out there that love to be choked while having sex. But I mean, if you don't know what turns you on and you're just saying things because it's something that a guy may have done in your past, you gotta get to know who you are. You gotta get to know yourself.
And the big thing is the both of you two growing together.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, is that, one, we don't talk about sex. It's basically something that's just supposed to just happen.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I think it's different things. You have recreational sex, which can just be the jump off, which is similar, because you know me, I always got the little sports analogy. Recreational basketball. When you get your 5 dudes together and you get next on the court, you just go out there and play. Y'all ain't running no calls. Y'all don't have no coach telling you what to do or anything like that. It's just recreational. We're just playing for fun. But then when you start playing in leagues and you get a coach, you are going to have somebody that says, yo, you need to get better at your jumper. Your jumper ain't this, or your handle ain't this. When you start now getting into, I guess, organizational sex with your husband or your wife, now it's time to have those talks. And it's why a lot of, one of my friends asked me the other day, who's, I guess, he's trying to get into basketball, was asking me, how come all these street dudes like the And1 players and all these basketball legends that, can play incredible ball can't ever make it to the league? And I'm like, they can't deal with the organization of it. They can't deal with the structure of, this is how you have to pass the ball, and this is how you have to do this, and this is how you have to. It feels mechanical to them almost. Yeah. And it's the same thing. We have to get to the point where we're not thinking we're doing, we're trying to do fancy stuff, and the woman's not into that, and the woman's doing this, and we're not into that. You've got to talk to your man and your wife about what you all like, and if you don't know what you all like, you guys have to make time to figure out what you all like. But like we said, growing up,
and women, be true to what you like. If you're doing something you don't like, you gotta let them know. Yeah. Because a lot of times we just go along with stuff because it's what they like. But if you aren't getting any pleasure out of that, that's not fair to you either. Sex is supposed to be pleasurable.
It is.
Meaning both people should enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying the process, then you're not having sex. You're just laying there being I don't know.
I just think you have to come into having these conversations being open-minded. Yeah. I think that's the key point. We have to come into these conversations.
But a lot of guys can't talk about sex.
I know they can't, but what I'm saying is a lot of guys can't talk, period. Yeah. But if you want to have a successful marriage, men, you're going to have to learn how to talk. Women, you want to have a successful marriage, you're going to have to be a freak. There you go. It's what? I got to learn how to talk, right? No more double standards, right? So I can't just want to learn how to talk and you ain't got to do nothing. Nah, we both got a part to play.
But what if that's just not being afraid? What if that is just how you want to cut it?
What are you talking about?
You know what I mean? I think a lot of women have like an issue with like terminology.
Fine, don't be afraid. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Make up a word like Roz do for all our kids. Call yourself a saint. If that helps you feel good about yourself, like I can't be a freak and go to church on something. Call yourself a saint.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have an issue with the terminology.
You could be Saint Nicholas. You could bring gifts to the bedroom for all our kids. Whatever floats your boat. So at the end of the day,
are you kidding me?
Nah, whatever.
That's hilarious.
Hey, so those are the things that I think may, help your sex drive get a little stronger if you know what you want.
Now you're worried about him cheating.
Yeah,
I don't think that has to do anything with the sex. It's probably something else that's got you worried about him cheating.
Nah, it could be because after listening to these series,
right. But it is
totally believable.
There's probably
it's probably something
that has clicked something maybe in his actions
Right.
that has clicked that she's like, oh crap, well.
Right, but then I could see nothing clicking and it just being paranoid at the end of the day. Like, well, killing Dr. Raj just said if all this stuff ain't going on, your man may cheat. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel paranoid or lose sleep at night. We're just trying to say you need to handle your business. And that's
I just say open your eyes and look at everything.
To me, it's the same thing like work. If you know you're not doing your job, and they're talking about, we're going to be laying off some people, then I'll say this. If they're like, yo, we have some performance issues coming up and we're going to be letting some people go because of performance issues, and you haven't been handling your business, that's why you're nervous.
Yeah.
So the person who's handling their business and they're on time and they leave at 5:05 and they're there at 8:50 and they do all their work and they take their half-hour lunch break, that person ain't worried. That person ain't paranoid. That person ain't losing no sleep. It's like, it is what it is. If this is about performance, I know my performance is on par. It's the people who's like, oh, I do come in at like 9:30. I put 9 on my time sheet and I do take an hour lunch break and I do sneak out. That's the person who's paranoid. Like, man,
stealing from the company and everything else.
So if you know that you haven't been handling your business, I think this is why it's so important, like we talked about in the last video, to talk about these things as soon as you kind of peep them out. As soon as you kind of see, okay, his appetite is a little more stronger than mine, we need to have a conversation. But what happens is we see that in 1990 and don't bring it up till 2011, and then this dude been cheating for all this time. So it's like when you see something, we have to get to a point in our marriages when there's an issue in the air that we deal with it, and we make sure that we're continually talking about it until the issue is dealt with, so that nobody is sideswiped by because one person's thinking, well, I thought we was good. We talked, I thought we was good. And it's like, well, no, we ain't good because nothing's changed. So things have to change. So I just think we have to come into our marriages being open-minded. We can't come in saying, I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't do that. I know women will name 10 things they ain't going to do. And I'm like, well, what else is left? So you can't come in like that. Okay.
I don't know if I could ever be so.
Okay, that's cool. So,
I'm just saying.
Cool, Rise.
You can. But if you do have your limits, it's okay to have your limits.
Right. It's okay to have.
It is okay to have your limits.
But you can't say there are 10 things I want to do and you ain't gonna do 10.
No.
You could say there are 10 things I want to do, 2 I just can't deal with, so I get 8. You know what I mean? And the thing that you have to really ask yourself is that okay that I'm not willing to do this one thing? How important is that to you? Because that one thing, if it's oral sex, and that's my number one thing, but we still have an issue then. So, if it's like...
Well, that's where compromise comes in. You got to negotiate.
If that's number 10 on my list, I don't know how I don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to.
If you creative and you want your relationship to work, you'll make it happen.
I don't want to. So, if it's number 10 on my list and number 10 you're not willing to do, I could probably live with number 10. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, all I say is this. Stop being closed-minded and try some things. Because you may be shocked some things that may have disgusted you in the past.
You may like it.
You may actually like it. Like it. And then the whole thing is, and then to put a parentheses on that, is that it can't be, because remember, we're not doing double standards this year. It can't be, I'm going to try something that he wants, and I don't really, you know what, because when you said like sex is supposed to be pleasurable, I heard you. But at the end of the day, like I said, sometimes having conversations with y'all is very hurtful. It hurts us. Okay?
Why?
I don't know, you ever saw this commercial? I forgot what it was about, but the dude was like, I'm going to sit here and have a conversation with my girlfriend, and I'm actually going to listen. And like after 5 seconds, he just falls out the chair like, I can't take it. I can't do it. So...
No, I haven't seen that commercial.
It is supposed to be about comfort and being pleasurable, but at the end of the day, if I know that you like talking, I have to find a way. Now, 9 times out of 10, I'm never going to enjoy talking and sharing as much as you do.
Right.
So there, you may not enjoy giving oral sex as much as I do, or as I like receiving it. But I mean, in marriage, it really is about taking one for the team sometimes. It is. And the thing is like I said earlier, if you take one for the team, don't be bringing that crap up, because that ain't taking one for the team. Taking one for the team is, because you should never know as a wife that I don't like talking to you. What? I should say that? Like, yo, I don't like
No,
talking
your
to you.
behavior show that. If anybody knows how to read body language,
Nah.
you'll see that.
Nah, men are good at,
Oh, no, you're not. You think you are. You're not.
So
you're not.
You're telling me.
Yeah, most women know when you ain't listening to them.
And that we don't care about it?
Yeah.
So then why do y'all keep talking?
Because we gotta talk to somebody. You want us talking to you then
call your girlfriend.
You want us talking to you rather than Tyrone on the street.
Call your girl. Tyrone don't care either.
But Tyrone gonna act like he care because if he
But y'all don't know. But then y'all don't know that's an act.
Hey.
Well, they all knowing everything.
In that moment, it just meet the need. All we need is the need met.
All I'm saying is,
women have verbal needs.
If your man, really needs something, you need to satisfy that need. The same way for a husband. If a woman has a need that she wants to be met, because I know guys who don't want to give oral sex to women.
That's crazy.
So
I have never met that dude.
Like you said, that's crazy, but they exist.
He won't ever get married.
They exist. They're married. Really? And he's going to have to take one for the team, right?
And he actually has a relationship.
Is he going to have to take one for the team?
If that's what she likes.
If that's what she likes. So that's all I'm
saying.
He may
have found someone that doesn't care for that.
Women, you have to take one for the team. We all have to take one for the team. Marriage is about taking one for the team and not bringing it back up. Because that's the definition of taking one for the team. It's, I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to throw it in your face 3 years later. I'm not going to do anything, because that's not taking one for the team.
No.
It's like I said, I've seen people women and men who brag on all the sacrifices they made for their child. Oh, I could have a BMW, but I send her to this school. Oh, I could do this, but I sent him to college. I could have done that, but I did that. And it's never a regret. It's not like the woman's like, oh my God, what if? No, because you're looking at your son, you're looking at your daughter, it's
an investment.
Yeah, you're looking at the investment. But then when it comes to marriage, and it's like, well, fine, I won't go to grad school because he don't want me to go right now. But throughout the whole year, you're hating him, like how, oh, now my girlfriend got her degree. Now I'm behind her on the pay scale. You've got to have that same sacrificial giving that you have for your children, for your spouses. You have to. You know what I'm saying? And we'll tell you in a second. A parent will tell you in a second, I don't regret giving up everything for my child. You talk to a husband and wife who had to give up something, the second they get away from their wife and they with their homeboys, I don't believe, man, I ain't even get my whip. And as soon as the chick gets away from my husband, girl, he don't want me going to grad school. He said the house ain't clean. Now I'm a cook. Now I'm a clean. Now I'm a maid, right? So we got to have that same selfless giving attitude and spirit that we have for our children, for our spouses. That's what God calls us to do. God calls us to love our spouses more than we love our kids.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just what we're called to do.
And people get that so backwards. They get that so backwards.
It's just what we're called to do. So at the end of the day, take that hit for the team and take the hit the right way. Don't throw it up in nobody's face. Half the time, the average person doesn't even know how much their parents had to sacrifice for them to go to college. No. They don't even have any clue. No. They probably don't even know their parents had to sacrifice because it was never thrown in their face. It was never, do you know what we had to do? Do you know what we had? You don't know we was eating noodles every night so that you could go to school, and we don't throw it in their face. And that's what a real sacrifice is about. A lot of times we kid ourselves in our marriage and we say we make sacrifices, and we're really not. We're really not. So prayerfully, we answered your question.
I hope so.
Like we always say, write us back and let us know if things are getting better. Let us know if the advice is working. Questions, tilldeafinfo@gmail.com, tilldeafinfo.com. I'm Kil.
And I am Dr. Roz.
Keep it locked.
Sounds like a love.